WCHL, Aaron Keck with you in the afternoon. Chapel Hill native Karen Coffey was recently a contestant or a participant, I guess, in the show Naked and Afraid. This was on the Discovery Channel. It recently aired. She spent 21 days in the jungle in the Philippines, literally without any clothes and with one partner, a man named Matt, the two of them having to forage and make their way in the jungle without a whole lot of assistance for basically the better part of a month. 21 days, 3 weeks they spent out there. She is back in Chapel Hill now and talking about her experiences. Here is a clip from Karen Coffey describing her experience, the initial experience of getting out there on the show Naked and Afraid. This is her talking about the experience immediately after getting back home to the U.S.
So here we are. We're hiking on insertion. The camera crew's everywhere around us filming. And we're just sort of chatting, and all of a sudden Matt stops, and boom, peas just right in front of me. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I was thinking maybe he'd just say, hey, I'm going to pee real quick or something, but no, just stopped and peed. Cool, it's fine, no problem. So we come back down off of that side of the mountain and decide to make our bed in this huge army camouflage-looking tree. And it is in the middle of sort of this riverbed area, this low-lying area filled with river rock. Now, the river rock is extremely difficult to walk on. My feet are already absolutely killing me, and this is only day one, half of day one, actually.
And Karen Coffey joins us now here in the studio, back from the harrowing experience. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You look great now. So,
Thank you.
What did you look like when you came out after 21 days in the jungle?
When I came out after 21 days in the jungle, I was really unrecognizable. Other than what people have told me about, I still had my 1,000-watt quote-unquote smile that people say about me.
Yeah.
But otherwise, unrecognizable.
And
dirty and thin.
And what we were just listening to is you describing your experience immediately after the fact, and your voice is kind of low because you had meningitis. Like, you were sick as all get out at that point.
That's right. And I have a feeling I sort of was traveling home with it, and then it hit hard when I got home, was hospitalized for one night with viral meningitis. So upon recording that recording we just played, I didn't realize how slowly I was speaking.
Yeah. And we think about, it's a reality show. It's not really reality, but it's a reality. Like, you're in there, you're doing it.
It's the real deal. It doesn't get any more real than that.
Okay, so what inspired you to apply for the show in the first place? What was that moment where you said, I'm going to get on this show?
Well, there was actually, that moment didn't necessarily occur to me. A friend of mine texted me one evening and said to me, hey, badass friend, would you like to apply for this Survivor show? You'd be perfect for it.
You can't turn that down.
I couldn't turn it down. No way, no how. Huh. And I said yes, and from there on I was in the eyes of the producers and moved on up. About 3.5 months later I was out in the field.
So what qualifies you to be able to go out into the jungle for 21 days?
Yeah, a lot of qualifications. A rigorous testing procedure, both psychological and survivalist, FaceTimes with survivalists and psychologists, a lot of testing, a lot of emailing back and forth to make sure that they're not putting somebody who's crazy out in the field with you.
So you have to be just sane enough to agree to go out for 21 days.
I mean, by a smidgen.
It's great to get the news because it's like, yes, I'm healthy and sane.
Exactly.
I've always wondered about that.
I have always wondered, absolutely.
So you got the call from the producers of the Discovery Channel. What was your reaction?
Got the call, and I couldn't believe my ears. I was like, yes, I'm so excited. And then we had to fumble through a little bit where my location was going to be. I had some blackout dates, and they sort of messed that up. So they were originally going to send me to Namibia, Africa, and got my mind set around that, wrapped around that. And then about 3 weeks later, I learned I was going to the Philippines. So I had to restudy, relearn, and get ready to go. So
where in the Philippines were you, roughly?
I was on a small island in the Philippines called Busuanga Island.
Okay. Awesome. So we're speaking with Karen Coffey, by the way. She was on Naked and Afraid, Discovery Channel show. 21 days in the Philippine jungle, back now in Chapel Hill. What was the experience like on day one?
Day one, the experience was really surreal. In part of me couldn't believe I was there. The other part of me was so ready to go. And so I had to just merge those two feelings together and just keep my wits about me and go and do it because I was ready for it mentally and physically.
How close is it to actual reality? You're with the TV cameras, you're with the producers. You don't ever really see, or they try to downplay the extent to which you're surrounded by camera people, but you're surrounded by camera people. Right?
You are surrounded pretty much 9 to 5 daily. They do go back to their homes at the end of the night. However, they really stay pretty much as far away as they can. They'll put the sound boom out for you, and the cameramen are just so stealthy and quiet and very, very professional. So they just left me and Matt to do my own thing, our own thing.
And Matt was your partner, the other guy
Alexander,
out there,
from Jennings, Louisiana.
What was he like?
He was a little bit of a difficult guy to get to know. However, in the end, I hear I'm stuttering, but I love you, Matt. But in the end, the best friend you could ever hope for.
That's awesome. Well, I want to play one more clip. This is you speaking in that earlier clip immediately after getting back and describing your experience. This is the experience of actually going out into the jungle for the first time and being filmed as you're getting ready to go out. So this is Karen Coffey again.
Eric gets out and pans with the camera several different angles of me looking to the left, looking to the right. So I'm getting filmed and taking off my clothes, and we do a couple retakes. So I take off my clothes in the order that I took them off. I put them back on. I take them back off. Put them back on. Take them back off. And then once they're in a pile, I sort of pick them up again and drop them, which is sort of interesting. The way the production works.
That's hilarious. I love that.
I'm glad I could provide that for you. Nobody else has heard that yet,
Yeah.
and so I just brought it out especially for you.
That's really cool. So the first day you get out there, and obviously the show is called Naked and Afraid. Obviously you're naked. Were you afraid?
I have to be honest with you, I really wasn't afraid. The only thing I really was afraid of is that something would take me out of this challenge that I couldn't control. Mm-hmm. And actually it almost did, because Matt and I both got very ill in the jungle around day 16.
Okay. And
that really could have caused a tap out for us, but we were able to pull it together.
And what kind of equipment did they give you? I know you brought the machete. So.
They actually provided the machete, which we then later deemed the butter knife because it was extremely dull. And I brought a blast match, and Matt brought a slingshot.
All right. And what did you? I know a lot of this is described on the show, but what did you eat?
We ate everything from a river shrimp to crabs every now and then, frogs, frog legs, and once the crabs and frogs wised up to us, then we had to move on to snakes. Then that guy got wise, and after we ate him, no more came through camp. And then finally, towards the end of the challenge, we got 2 skunks and a humongous monitor lizard.
What is skunk like?
After you get rid of thinking that you're eating skunk, you just got to push that to the back of your mind. Roast beast.
Oh, that's
AKA roast beef.
Roast beef. All right, I can do that. That's cool. So, what was the hardest thing that you had to do? I guess other than getting through the last 5 days really sick.
Yeah, and if you've watched the show, you could hear me. I guess you could say whining about it. Although I hope I didn't sound like I was whining, but the pain in the feet. My feet were really, really in a lot of pain.
Mm-hmm. And what's the strangest thing that you had to do, other than possibly eating skunk?
Oh boy, that's a really good question. You might have almost stumped me on that. I don't know. I don't know that I have an answer for that, because
eating skunk then.
I think eating skunk, honestly, because I just keep my mind open to things. So I don't necessarily think what one person might think is strange. I guess I wouldn't say I think is strange.
Yeah, and again, we're speaking with Karen Coffey. She was just on Naked and Afraid. It's on the Discovery Channel. 21 days out in the jungle in the Philippines, and lived to tell the tale. So, was there anything that you did in the 21 days that you didn't think you would have been able to do before you got out there?
There again, I have to be really honest. No, I just went in with the absolute theory and positive notion that I was going to do this, and whatever it took is what it was going to take, and we did it.
That's awesome. I loved watching this, and it was such a cool experience. It had to have been such a cool experience. It's a cool experience just watching it, and sort of being there with you electronically at the very least. So after effects, you got out of the jungle. You're sick with meningitis. Other than that, what was it like to get out and sort of get back into civilization?
Yeah, to reinsert into civilization was actually really difficult. Past the viral meningitis, as most women do who go on the show, I lost a lot of hair due to the lack of nutrients. And then thirdly, one funny little thing to note is I couldn't turn the radio on in the car for about 3 months.
Really?
It just was almost like a PTSD situation, like it was just too loud and reverberating in my head.
Wow. Was that the case with just noise in general, or just
noise in general also, yes.
Okay.
Like
so
if I were to go to a party or a gathering or something, I just wasn't myself. I couldn't really deal with it.
Wow. So how long did that take to get back to normal as far as that goes?
That took a good couple months.
Wow. Is that just because it was so quiet out there in the jungle?
Well, the jungle itself wasn't quiet.
Yeah.
However, different noises, right? There's so much chatter here at home and in your everyday life. The chatter in the jungle was loud, but it was different. It was animal chatter. No TV, no computer, just animals and friendlier sounds than that.
That's interesting. I would have never thought that, but yeah. That's really interesting. All right. I was speaking with Karen Coffey, and the show has aired, and you've gotten a chance to see it by now, right? What was that like to see yourself on TV?
It was pretty amazing.
How did the show correspond with your actual experience?
What we say along those lines is I think we got a good edit, okay, quote unquote. They reflected many things that we did really, really well. There were a few things that they didn't show that we did extremely well. One of them was really bond a lot. They showed us right at the very end bonding as a pair. However, Matt and I were fist to fist from the first hour. We discussed it and we said we are just going to be inseparable, and we were, and we worked together the whole time.
That's awesome. So seeing yourself on TV for the first time, what was your experience like?
It's sort of like hearing yourself talk. I'm not sure anybody ever really likes that. However, I've rewatched it a few times, and I like it. It's fun.
Yeah, you get more and more used to it after you see yourself.
You do get more and more used to it, yes.
All right, so now the show's aired on the Discovery Channel. It's been seen all over the country. A lot of people here in Chapel Hill have seen it. Have you had any sort of weird experiences of people coming up to you and, oh man, I've seen you on the show?
The only weird experience would be being invited to a nudist colony. Okay. If that counts.
Yeah.
That was just over email though, so
all right.
It was a separate incident. But locally, thank goodness. But locally, and by the way, the people who think that because I went on this show that it's all about nudity they are incorrect. The reason it's about nudity is they want to strip you of anything that could be used as shelter, just to clarify. But all the people who love and know me in Chapel Hill and around the world have been nothing but supportive for me, and I really appreciate that.
That's awesome. Well, it was a great experience, and I loved watching it. What is next for you? We got to let you go in just a second, but what are you up to next?
Yeah, thanks for asking. And you might say, well, does this girl ever do anything just mediocre? Well, okay, other than surviving in the jungle for 21 days, a few days from now, I'm off to China, to Beijing, China, to be part of the cognitive team for George Hood, who's going for the Guinness World Book of Records in the static plank. He's also offered me and the other gal who's traveling with us, Donna, to plank on the worldwide stage. So you can look for us streamed on Ustream, I believe, May 14th, China time, 2 p.m.
That's awesome. So George Hood is going for the record, and the record is what, 4 minutes and 26 seconds, I think we talked about?
4 hours.
Oh, no, 4 hours and 26 minutes, that's right. 4 minutes and 26 seconds. I could probably do with enough training.
I think you could.
Yeah, 4 hours and 26 minutes. So that's going to be. So is he shooting for 5, or is he just shooting for 4:27 and go from there?
3 Sundays ago, George did 5 hours, 35 minutes, 35 seconds.
Oh wow!
So we're fairly sure he can at least do that.
Yeah. So now it's just doing it in front of the Guinness people and having it officially recognized. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
So we're really excited.
That's awesome. All right. Karen Coffey was on Naked and Afraid. How can people find out more about you?
Yeah, so my public page is Karen L. Coffey, NAA, and I'm on Twitter at Karen L. Coffey, and I'm also on Instagram, Karen L. Coffey, Naked and Afraid.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
This
you
was
for
a lot of
having
fun.
me. Thank you so much. It was great.
It is 4:29. When we come back, we'll have CBS
Good job,
News at the
Karen.
bottom
That
of
was
the hour,
awesome.
traffic and weather, and then the latest big news on House Bill 2. That's after this.